Hello, welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory. It's Thursday, and let's have some fun. What you just saw was a number of announcements. Well, you saw the announcement to download the reference that we're going to be using today. Do I have it here? I don't. But as you saw, it's bit.ly/gray. What was it? Gray. I can't remember. But yeah, I put it up there. Didn't I? Yes, I did. So please do download that thing. Let me just. This is shockingly poor planning on my part. But yes. What was the damn URL? Anyway, you saw what it was. Just pull it up again. This is pathetic. Pathetic. Do I have it here? Yes. bit.ly/grayout. Yes. All right. You saw it. I put it up there adequately. bit.ly/grayout. So that is gonna be helpful. It'll be helpful to have the stuff we're going to draw from today. The image we're going to draw from today. I'm going to put it up on the screen, and I'm also going to put it up here for you, so you can just download it. So make sure you downloaded it. What the hell, people? And download it. Okay, is it here? Is it ready? I believe it is. Yes, it is. Excellent. All right. There we go. bit.ly/grayout. Okay. What else did I want to say? I want to talk about our forgeries. They're out there. They're flooding the internet. It's only a matter of time before the art establishment notices them and starts saying, what's going on? What is all this fantastic preparatory work from Vermeer that is showing up? Never before seen, never before known. I thought it was actually really pretty damn good. You guys did probably too good of a job, but we might get in trouble. It was really very nice. So I'm glad that you made it. I'm glad that you shared it, and I hope you had fun doing it. As it turns out, it's not that hard to make a Vermeer, right? Who knew? We've been pretending all this time that he was this untouchable master, but we all put a little bit of backbone into it, a little elbow grease, and we were able to crank out huge numbers of fake Vermeers. So I hope you all feel good about that. If you are getting an error with a link, it's because you maybe didn't spell it with a capital G. I think it'll work. It should work. And it is Oscar Wilde, yes. So Anya seems to have gotten it, and that's all that matters. Not that Anya got it. That does matter. I'm glad that you did, Anya. But anyway, thank you for sharing it. Hopefully you did. All right, cool. So let's move on beyond that to talk about some exciting things that are happening this weekend, which is the new workshop that we're doing. And that workshop is very exciting. It is called it's like I cannot prepare enough to get this right. But there it is. And that's not what I wanted to talk about either. I wanted to talk about, it's not working on so many levels today. But don't worry about it. Jesus. It's good. It's very good. And now it's going to get better. Right. You see, I did have it. The only problem is I had it wrong. I did have it, and that's an old one, so forget that. Okay. Breathe, people. So, Rethink Your Ink is this weekend. It is with Derek Bacon, who is an incredible British artist based in Holland, like Vermeer, who wasn't British, but was based in Holland. And we're going to learn some amazing techniques to use ink in new and different ways. He is an incredible illustrator, and he's done work for The Economist for a long time. And I just want to remind you of what a handsome, well-spoken man he is, and how interesting this workshop is going to be. So let's check it out.
Hello, I'm Derek Bacon and welcome to my studio. I'm really looking forward to experimenting, trying out different things, take chances, get messy.
All right, that's why that didn't work, because I had it set up in a different way. Okay, good. So yes, so Rethink Your Ink is going to be happening this weekend. That is not the URL for that, so forget that. Rethink Your Ink is going to be happening this weekend on Saturday, and then we're going to have a feedback session on Sunday. And you can still sign up for it at bit.ly/rethinkdb for Derek Bacon. So I don't know if you know how to do all those techniques that you saw in that trailer. I bet you don't. I didn't. I do now because I've been hanging with Derek and he's been divulging his trade secrets. We talked about trade secrets last week, a little bit about Vermeer. That was actually in the after party. We talked about how it is that artists have trade secrets and why they have them and why they keep them. But in this case, Derek is going to divulge them all to us. So yes, we are enjoying, of course, the traditional leaf blowers. You know, it's just the way we roll here. It's Thursday. It's time to blow some leaves. There we have. Okay. So yeah, it's all good. We are getting ready to. All right, we're done with that. You downloaded it. You're ready to go as far as today's piece goes. Yes, we're going to be drawing something exciting, which is a portrait, if that's what you're into. So what else I wanted to talk about was this. Do you remember this from last week? This is the cappuccino book made by Hanamula. And Hanamula sent me this book, and they said, have at it. And so what I did is I drew my Vermeer in here, and then I said, would you like this book? With my drawing in it, would you like to own this particular copy? And a bunch of you said yes, and you wrote to me, and you emailed me, actually. And we are going to select one person who will win this book, and I will send it to you, and you'll have it. And you can continue the sketchbook. Ignore the page that I drew in. Sorry about that. Fill in the rest. And that's something we're going to be doing on a fairly regular basis, I think. Thanks to Hanamula, who is our sponsor. Come on. Draw with me having a sponsor? Yes, it's true. It's my dream come true. So I'm excited about that. So I got all these things in, and we thought about it for a while. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to select a winner? Because, I'm not big into competition, contests, and I like random stuff. I like serendipity. And so what we decided to do was to leave it up to Twiglet to make the decision. And so we took all of the emails that had been sent to us, printed them out, and threw them into a bowl and said to Twiglet, will you please randomly select a winner, okay? And that is what she did, because she's a good dog and she does what she's told. So here we go. Let's see a little film clip of how that went down. Is that the one? All right. I like how deliberate she was about it. You see how careful she takes her job seriously. And so here is the winner. So let's check it out. let us see. Let's see whose name is in here because I don't really know. Let's check it out. Let's please go here, and here we have. Let's open it up and see what it says. And it says Morgan, which is strange. First of all, Morgan at Sketchbook School isn't even here this week. She's taken the week off to have, what is it called? Baby moon? Is that what it is? Baby moon? So she and her husband have gone off for a week of, I don't know what they're up to. But yeah, it's the last week before she, it's not the last week, but it's maybe the last time she thinks she's going to, baby moon, yes. It is baby moon, is that what I said? Yeah. Anyway, so she's gone to Martha's Vineyard, that's correct. Everybody seems to know about this. So, but this, I think, is not that same Morgan. She's gone off, she and her husband, taking a break before they pop out their baby and their life becomes a living hell for the next 20-something years. 26 in my case, and counting. So yes, so Morgan, but actually it's not Morgan Green. It is a different person who sent me a full explanation. And turns out this is Morgan. Let me just read you this email. Dear Sketchbook School, my name is Morgan, and I'm 14 years old. Good name, don't you think? I really want to say hello to Twiglet. I have a sister, Mindy, who's small in stature, just like Twiglet. She takes good care of me, except she steals my cookies. Mom says she is some sort of Bichon Poodley cross or something. Anyway, Mom would love to win a sketchbook giveaway so she can practice drawing me. I mean, us. And here is the beginning of that attempt. Please give my regards to Twiglet. I have tips should a sibling ever enter the picture, like hide your cookies. Truly yours, Golden Morgan from Albuquerque. So there you go. Congratulations, Morgan and family. We'll be firing this off to you, and you and your mom, Laura, will be filling the sketchbook soon. So that's exciting. That went very well, I think. I managed to pull that thing off. Twiglet did an incredible job. So yeah, it's good. Congratulations to everybody involved. And as I said, we're going to be doing this again. Maybe even today. Let's see. So today, for those of you who downloaded this picture, who is this man? Who is this man whose picture we downloaded? Oscar Wilde. Today's his birthday. I love Oscar Wilde. I'm wild about Oscar Wilde. And he has a great face. You know, don't you think? I think he has just a really nice face. I don't know about nice, but it's an interesting face. And I thought it would be fun to draw. And there's another reason that I thought about that was because Hanamula also sent me this. The Gray book, which made me think of Picture of Dorian Gray. The only novel that Oscar Wilde ever wrote. Yeah, he only wrote the one novel. And it's a great book because it's sort of about an artist. I mean, there's an artist who's a central character in it. And it's about a picture. It's about a portrait. I'm sure you know the story. I'm sure you read it like in high school. But it is a great story, and it is worth thinking about, particularly on his birthday, and particularly since we're going to be working in the Gray book by Hanamura, which has this beautiful, I mean, really nice paper to draw on. I like the size of it. Here, let me hold it up so you can see it in comparison to the size of my head. It's roughly head-shaped. And so I can take everything that's in my head and perfectly one-to-one transfer it into the Gray book. So that's what we'll be doing. A light gray sketch paper with non-absorbing surface for India ink, fountain pens, and acrylic markers. So we're going to be using India ink. And I think I'll be using actually a brush marker today. But I'm going to be having at it. I'm going to have at this. I'm going to have at it. So there it is. I'm set up. I've got my book here. I've got my picture downloaded, printed out. But even if you didn't bother to download it because you're like, I'm not bothering to download it, let that guy do it for me. Yes, there it is. You will be able to see it on screen. Okay? Dorian Gray is spelled with an A. It's true. That's because it's England. where they, spell things correctly, unlike in this godforsaken country. All right, so yeah, we can. We can even have multiple. How do you like this? This is my new setup. I hope you are really impressed by this. Look, check it out. We've got this view, and then we've got this view, and then we've got Oscar, and then we've got me. I think this is perfect. You can see Oscar nice and big, and do it all. I'm thinking I'm going to use this Pentel brush marker. It's gray. Seems appropriate. I like this ribbon, but I don't like it right now. Get out of my face. There we go. All right. So I vowed to myself that I would take my time with this. I will not rush into it. I will take my time to do the right thing by Oscar. I'm stroking his feverish brow. And now looking at the curve of his aquiline jaw. I'm kind of feeling like I want to start with eyes because his eyes are hooded and expressive and interesting. So yeah, we're going to start there. Taking my time. I hope you are too. We do not want to rush into this. It's his birthday. We want him to feel honored and, flattered. So I'm sure you remember how the picture of Dorian Gray what it was about. It's about being self-indulgent to some extent. It's about, Dorian Gray is this young, very handsome man who falls under the influence of an, sort of older, self-indulgent kind of gentleman, shall we say. And he's having his portrait done. And basically, he's told about, how one should live a life in which one does whatever the hell one wants. And basically, that's what he does. He goes off and he lives a really selfish, self-indulgent life full of sin and all kinds of stuff. And he notices that he's not aging or in any way, losing his beauty. But his painting, the portrait that this artist paints of him at the beginning of the book, is showing the influence of all these terrible things that he's doing. And becomes more and more awful as he becomes more and more awful. And eventually he puts it away in a cupboard, and it just becomes this really horrific thing. It's an interesting book because it's really about art to some extent, I think. I mean, of course it is. It's about the artist who makes it and who ultimately, I forget what happens to him. Does he kill himself, or Dorian Gray? A lot of people kill themselves in this book, or are killed by Dorian Gray or various other people. It's kind of a gruesome book in that way, as a Victorian melodrama could be. And yeah. I like this paper. I like gray on gray. I don't think I've ever done it before. I don't think I've ever drawn with gray ink on gray paper. It's nice. Gray ink is nice because it's soft. You know, it's not quite as harsh as black. But also, because I'm drawing on gray paper, I'm going to have the opportunity to go in and to just, you know, punch up some stuff with a darker marker. Darker marker, darker marker, soon. Soon enough. And also maybe some white. It's hard to tell what his mouth is like exactly. Clearly has sort of fairly sensual lips here. All right, that's working out quite nicely. Yeah, so this paper is it's holding up nicely. It's not going through at all, but it's a nice color. I like it. All right. Have you ever worked in tone paper before? You know, last week we worked with that beautiful cappuccino paper, brownish, but this gray is it's just another kettle of fish, gray fish, not to be confused with white fish. Yeah. There's quite a lot of photos of Oscar Wilde, and I heard one very strange recording of his voice. You know, he's Irish, and surprisingly heavy Irish brogue that he had. And it's a terrible recording, and there's some debate as to whether or not it's actually him. But it's actually not even really worth looking up. But yeah, it is kind of eerie, you know, to hear this person from the distant past who is, you know, is actually recorded. And these photo sessions is like there's quite a lot of photos from this particular session, I think, you know, and then there's some other pictures of him with shorter hair. But yeah, he's quite a stylish fellow. All right, so now to figure out what to do about those eyes, because the eyes are, of course, super important. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring in this Pentel brush pen in black. And you see, a little bit helpful there. And then try and put in. You know, actually this paper looks, I think, even better in real life than it's looking on camera from this angle. Because now what I'm going to do is and take this, which is this Inktense pencil, and just see. That's another nice thing about the gray is you have somewhere to go. So the gray is your mid-tone. You can put in your shadows and stuff, but then you also now have a chance to go in and put some highlights in if you want to. And you know, normally we're just dealing with the white of the paper, and then we have to kind of build up the midtones. But here our midtones are pre-built. Give him some highlights in his hair. I wanted to show. Somewhere I had some. I'd written down something nice that Oscar Wilde said. I'm not sure what I did with it. Did I print it out? I'm sure I did. Maybe I have it on my telephone. So there's the photo, and there's Oscar, the drawing. So the quote, and this is a quote from this book, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I wrote it down on my phone, as one will do, writing stuff down on one's phone. But of course it might be gone, as one's, phones are like that. But I like to write down stuff in my phone, just, as a reminder of stuff that I come across. Here it is. So this is the quote from Oscar Wilde in The Picture of Dorian Gray. He says, "Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter." And that's something that I absolutely think is true, which is, that's one of the reasons, like, I'm a big advocate of doing self-portraits, because I think so often it's not just the likeness that we're going for, but it's we're recording our reaction to the person that we're drawing, right? So how do we feel about Oscar Wilde? A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people think that he's, a bad example for the youths. Shouldn't be reading him in school, But he was a brave artist who suffered, a lot of attacks, went on trial in his lifetime, was really badly treated. And, so I have some feelings about that, about him. Maybe you do too. Maybe they're different. Maybe they're different than mine are, which is fine. But I feel like I want to take that thought that he said, and I want to just write it down next to it. So I'm going to write that here. Get this pen working. Using India ink, which this paper can handle. Every portrait zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. Because it's the feelings that are really the subject of this. Well, I'm not sure whether given that I'm live streaming on social media, am able to fully indulge my feelings in this situation, but, I think I tried to convey them to some extent. I think he looks quite nice. I maybe even made him look a little bit nicer than he did in reality. What do you think? So, so that is my portrait of the birthday boy, not Dorian Gray, but Oscar Wilde. And, I can continue fiddling with this. Why not? You can continue fiddling for some time. I'm reasonably happy with that. And I think this. So as I said, I didn't say it actually, but I'm going to say it now. I think I want to give this away to you, to one of you, and have Twiglets select a winner of those people who want to write to me and say, you know what, I like the look of that book, and I want to practice. I want to try out that gray paper. Now, one of you will win this book in this similar kind of high security selection process that I showed you before. We will make sure that there is a winner, and that winner is impartially chosen and randomly chosen by Twiglet. And all you need to do is tell me that you want to have a chance to have a go at this. That you think that you could make good use of this paper, of this gray book, and therefore you want me to send it to you with my drawing inside. And how do you do that? I'll tell you in a minute. Well, here, I'll tell you right now, and then I'll show you in a minute. But basically what I want you to do is to write to me. drawwithme@sketchbookschool.com. Drawwithme, & sketchbookschool.com. Got it? Sketchbook School with a K. Write to me and say, now, Morgan, today's winner of the Cappuccino book, wrote a very nice letter. I can't say that's the reason that Morgan won, but it didn't hurt. So, yes, that's today's assignment. If you want to write to me, please do. And I hope that you will celebrate Oscar's birthday by thinking about art, by indulging yourself in some way, and maybe read a poem that he wrote, or a short story, because he wrote a lot of them, and a lot of them are about the struggles of being an artist. Well, that's what inspired them. So that's nice. That was fun. That was relaxing. I hope that you enjoyed it too, and that you will be sharing some cool stuff that you made. What else? What else out there? Before we go, I do want to say a few other things. I want to remind you again about the workshop, right? So that workshop is going to be this weekend, and I was going to use some of those ink techniques, but I'm not going to give them away. Maybe I will next week after I've taken the workshop fully and properly, and we will try it there. So there it is. Rethink your ink. Last chance. Okay. Let us move on to this. So normally I go through in laborious detail all of the various things that you can do to be in touch with me. You can text with me, and you can do all kinds of various other things. You can text with me by texting this number, and you can share with me. This is actually important. Hashtag SBS Draw with me. If you've made an Oscar that you want to share, that you think is Oscar worthy, put it out there on social media. What do I mean by social media? I mean Facebook, the much blighted Facebook these days. Instagram. Just put this when you post it. Just put hashtag SBS Draw with me. Or the Schoolyard, which is Sketchbook School's, as you know, social network. So put it there and we'll see it. You can email with me, as I said. If you want to email me about this book, that's the email address, drawwithme@sketchbookschool.com. What else? You can also hear me on the Art for All podcast. I know you subscribe to it, but I just thought I would remind you anyway that I was late this week with this episode. It just went up yesterday. It should have gone out on Monday. but it's a humdinger, and I think you'll enjoy it. So just go to your regular podcast thingamabob, type in Art for All, you'll get it. And then also every Friday, namely tomorrow, I send out an email, and you can get it by going to dannysessays.com. So all this stuff is in the description down below. So let's get rid of all this stuff and just speak face to face. I don't have an awful lot less left to say in me. That I feel very kind of relaxed and accomplished, having drawn Oscar. So we'll leave it at that this week. It's always fun to draw with you, and I hope you enjoy it too. And I mean, seeing those Vermeers, you're getting better and better at this, really. I mean, those Vermeers were next level, and I'm sure your Oscars will be too. So make sure you get them out there, and I'd love to see what you do. And then those of you who are going to be joining me with for the after party, let's do it. I'll see you in 20 minutes or so. For the rest of you, draw, post, share, be good, be wild, and I'll see you next week.